All right. All right. Well, we are now live. Everybody, welcome April 26th to another Friday Night Bigfoot Chat. All right. We got boots on the ground with Barb. All right.
Oh, there's Barb.
Hey, Barb.
Yeah. I like that name, the way she wore the boots on the
Mm-hmm.
ground with Barb. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Sam Thomas, how you doing? All right. So, well, the audience is actually growing fairly quickly. That's good.
That's good.
So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. The one thing I like to do every time we go live is I like to start with my panel members and put them in on the spot. Anyway, nah, I'm just joking. Well, Sam, we haven't had you on here in a while, and oh, I'm gonna get you to talk in just a second, but all right, we gotta congratulate ourselves. We finally got 2 dislikes from the very start. We just went live and got 2 dislikes. So they're
Woot
probably from our
woot.
yeah, they're probably from our best fans out there.
Yep. Of course.
So as I mentioned last Friday night, anyone they could dislike all they want. It just lets us know that they're viewing. So God bless them.
Yeah.
uh, Don Sharp. Oh, okay, Robert Denhooven's on here. All right, PSPR Paranormal Pursuit. Hey. The Brown Dwarf is here. I didn't know Zach was on
Woohoo.
there. Not.
Oh.
Hi, what's up, Dinobot? All right. Well, first of
The-
all, let me start off with saying hello to Mr. Sam DeLoach.
What's
Um,
up?
Sam, we haven't really talked too much about Bigfoot lately. Well, what's been going on with you? Anything Bigfoot related you would like to share, or
Well, this past weekend we went to High Knob. That's about the only area that I'll do research because I know it pretty well. And of course, I've always got the upper hand advantage by being on privately owned property that backs up to the national forest. So I'm lucky there too. But while we were out morel mushroom hunting, I happened upon some rock piles. I've seen them in a couple different places in the national forest there. Now this part we were in national forest, and we weren't near any old logging roads. We parked at the main road and actually hiked in. But it was just, it looked odd and out of place to me. For one, if it could have been early settlers or something for marking boundaries. Could have been Cherokee Indians marking boundaries as well. Could be, I mean, it could be many things. Upon doing some research on it, they do have a name though. They're called Cairns, Cairns, and they're found throughout the United States as a whole. A lot in the Northeast as well too. But upon the research, I think I'm going to go back and do some better videos. And Baldemar, I'd spoken with him. I wanted his knowledge, being a Native American, and he had a great idea. Never even thought of it. Take a metal detector and go around it and see if you might be able to find some coins or something that may date it. Because
hmm,
he wasn't sure as well. That's what I liked about Baldemar. He didn't jump at the oh yeah, it's Native American. We thought of all possibilities. So very interesting. Bigfoot related, don't know. I just thought it was very interesting while we were out there. And then we had the low growl that happened a couple of times, which I'm pretty sure it was a bear. I didn't see it. All we did was hear it, but it was almost like one of those like low sniffing growls, like it was trying to get into a log or something. And then it's whatever it was, it just kind of skedaddled off in the woods. So, and like I said, we were morel mushrooming anyways, and so didn't really pursue it. Plus, we thought it was a bear. Plus, could have had cubs. So we went our way, and this creature, whatever it was, went its way. But other than that, we didn't have really anything else happen. The creeks were up. You know that, Daniel, from all this rain that we had. So
Oh yeah.
so doing yells, tree knocks, and that sort of thing. Even as high up as we were, you could still hear that creek rumbling down there. But more than anything, we got out in the woods, and you just get out there and experience nature and learn. That's like you tell people, learn your wildlife around you. If you learn the wildlife around you, then you'll be a better researcher. So yeah, thanks for letting me share, Daniel. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. There was one question on there. I think Brand Dwarf was asking if you found any morels.
Yeah, we found 254. I don't
Oh,
eat. Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's not that many compared to one of our friends that we know, Marcella Chadwick. She came up with some like 5-gallon buckets full. But I don't eat them. It's just the fun of going out and trying to find them. It's like it's just fun. It's like a treasure chest trying to find stuff. So, but yeah, thanks for the question.
okay. Well, that's interesting there. Um, yeah, tell me the rock mounds and stuff in your area. You had told me, or you had mentioned that they were like in a horseshoe shape, maybe.
Well,
Was that correct?
actually, there were kind of about where that bear was. Really, there was a few over there, which unfortunately I did not film. Um, and then the three that I was actually at and filmed, one was circular, almost like it was a circular, not perfect, but you could tell it was circular, about 3 foot high, and flat across. And then the other two, that was in the middle. And then the other two were kind of set off to the side a little bit higher, but more of a rounded pyramid shape all the way around. I can't wait to get back and do some more video tomorrow evening.
Okay. Yeah. See, now in certain areas I've been into, one particular area that I recall. Well, I mean, there's been several areas, but there's one particular area really stood out to me. When it comes to rock mounds, this one particular area had, I don't know, several of them. I mean, I wouldn't say a dozen, but close enough. But these rock mounds, you could tell that they had been there for a very long time. And there was, they're probably about anywhere from between 4.5, 5 feet tall,
Mm-hmm.
and they are round. I mean, like we're talking about piles that look like, some of them didn't look like just piles. Because one thing you mentioned is what I recall what these look like. They were flat. The way
Mm-hmm.
it's like these were placed there, almost like building a wall, like a stone igloo.
Mm-hmm.
If that's maybe a better way to explain it. But and I know a lot of times in the national forest and a lot of these areas, the the forest department people, the rangers, and any of the people that do the construction or any kind of whatever miscellaneous work they do in the forest. I know there's different mounds and
Mm-hmm.
piles of both soil and stones that are left over from the years past from them. But yeah, these particular mounds, I really question myself about these. I mean, I when I came across these, I was really scratching my head because I was wondering, you know, we're pretty far out here in the woods, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, well, I'm out here. This is not far from this little lake and all. You got creeks and streams all over the place. But the thing is, these rock mounds were off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, like I said, I was really scratching my head because, like I said, as far as the roundness of these piles, um, 10 feet, give or take. But like I said, they were about 4 to 5 feet tall, and some of them looked like they were literally stacked there. They weren't just like um. It didn't look like a dump truck dumped them there, if that's a better way of putting it too. So it looked like they were neatly placed there, but yet they were old, and you could tell, they had growth growing over like some moss and everything. They've been there for a while, so um,
Hey, before
uh,
we get the other two guests on the panel, hey, Valdemar.
Hey, how you
Um,
doing?
Good, my friend. Um, you know, part of me, it's like, okay, we talk about these creatures burying their own, um, and I would never disturb these rock mounds, for the pure fact that, the great possibility of them being Native American and, um, you know hold you know hold spiritual, you know
Be
whatever.
sacred. Yeah,
Yes,
be
that's what I'm
sacred.
trying to say. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, but what if it's a Bigfoot burial ground? I mean, I don't know. I'm just, thinking out of the box. What if they bury and put those rocks on top? Because it'd be hard to move those. Daniel, it'd take you quite a
Yeah.
while.
Well, the way I'm looking at it, just thinking right off hand, real quickly, is if those were Bigfoot related, I would imagine that it would be a little bit harder to find or to even come across. Um, I'm not going to rule out the possibility, most definitely. Considering the size of some of these rock mounds I have come across, like I said, they're around 10 feet wide around, and about 4 or 5 feet tall. Um, and like I said, there was a cluster of them in one area I came across.
Yeah.
Um, so, but as far as if they were, I do believe that Bigfoot berries are dead, but I would think it would be a little bit more harder to come across. Just like a bear, when a bear dies of natural causes, you know, when a bear goes off, they go off basically alone most of the time, and they crawl onto something or go into a den or a cave to die off, and so yeah, they go into hiding. But so thing is, I don't know, just the way I'm looking at it. Um, hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. But as of, like, let's say if these mounds have been there 300 years and they are Bigfoot related, well, 300 years ago we didn't have the civilization we do now,
Yeah.
especially in national forest. That just, yeah, it kind of just blew my mind that it's just, I can't believe we come across it. It's just weird.
Wow.
Right.
Let me
Yep.
ask you this, Sam. Um, these rock structures that you found, you found four of them. That's correct.
Well, there was like four that were on one side of the hill, and I'll film them. And then there was three that where I was at, and the two, it was like the one in the middle. It kind of depends on how you were looking at it, but the one in the middle were like flatter rocks than the two
Okay.
on the outside.
Okay. Were they in a circle? Were these?
Yeah, yeah, they were in a circle, almost a
Okay.
perfect circle.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Here's where stuff would come in for you. Um, uh, what I would do is, like, let's take for example. Here's where your compass comes in. Go over there
Ah,
into your mounds and find out if you have a north, a south, and an east and a west direction. And then the one in the center, it would be basically for your offerings. The ones in the center is basically for your grandfather and stuff like that. That's how you leave your offerings behind. And especially if you have a flat stone there, and that would basically would actually would be there for offerings for. Basically, the ones in the center would basically be your offerings for grandfather, or for the Great Spirit.
well, let me ask you this while we're on the subject. Very close to those, and I just now came to my mind, is a very, very, very unique geological formation of rocks. And when I say that, I'm talking massive rocks with these little passageways, and I'll film that as well. And you come across that every now and then up there, but not like this. This was just crazy, crazy huge
It's
complex.
it seems like what you found there to me is you actually found a medicine wheel. That's what we call it. And so every stone would indicate something.
Wow.
Every stone would indicate something.
Yeah.
And if you and I'm pretty sure that there's some times where I believe they could possibly be a little bit older than we think, than you think. But to me, this sounds like Native American. It's a very special place for Native American people there, because especially if you find that stone in the center and everything being in a circle, and these certain little stones being there, and also to the equinox system as well for farming. There should be a stone in there too as well for the equinox as well.
And that
And
makes sense.
right, and there should be one also, for your planting. Or there's sometimes even that they would even put stuff for their moons as well.
Oh, it's
To me,
very,
that's
very,
to me.
it's very close to an Indian settlement back in the late 1700s, and I'll get some information on that as well. And yeah, you got me really thinking now.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Thank you, Baltimore.
No
Yeah,
problem.
Baltimore. What about the rock stacks I find? You didn't say nothing about mine. No, just joking.
Yeah, I mean,
Mine are bigger.
I mean, I mean,
you
dealing,
nut.
dealing with
I'm
those,
sorry.
dealing with those, dealing with those rock stacks. You had so many different types of people coming in. You even stories of the Knights Templars that also came in that actually used stones as well. There's sometimes also
Yep.
too is there's sometimes where hieroglyphics could be in play as well. That's why I always tell people, hey, did you wet the rocks, and maybe you could find a symbol there or something like that. Dealing with the old ways that they carved something down there.
Mm-hmm.
Water could actually bring some of the stuff out. So
Yeah, I wish I'd
yeah,
spent more
normally
time there.
Yeah, normally, normally what I just, especially in areas like that, is always good, to bring an offering to when you go to areas like that, because there's also people, spirits over there actually protecting this area as well. And so you
Mm-hmm.
bring something like maybe some fruit and stuff like that, and maybe even put it in the center. And there's sometimes too is that there's sometimes is the spirits are there and they're pleased of what you're doing there, and there's sometimes that you could even get answers there that you actually seek.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't know if you're familiar with sage bundles or.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Sure.
normally anytime I come there, I would bring tobacco to an area like that and just bless the ground there and everything, and even burn a little bit of sage there, and I always say, whatever's here, stays here, like that.
Mm-hmm.
You could be protected as well, because you really don't want to bring anything home with you. As well is also good to is also good to be protected there as well.
Okay.
So yeah, there's sometimes also that I even bring a little shot glass and pour a little whiskey on there, and whiskey I leave tobacco or sage there, or maybe even fruit, again for the offering there.
Okay. Sure. I'll do it.
Um, yeah. If you don't leave enough whiskey there, and that squash likes that, he's gonna come looking for you.
You're crazy. I guess it'll have to be Jack Daniels, huh?
Yeah,
Wild turkey. I don't know. Hey, real
I'll
quick.
give an example.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
See, I'll give an example. Anytime when there's a site like that, especially when there are a big group of people,
Mm-hmm.
especially I even went as far as when I went in Gettysburg, leaving some tobacco and stuff like that there, for the spirits there, and
Mm-hmm.
actually leaving some whiskey there, a little shot glasses there, at least for an offering. Again, it basically shows that you actually have respect for the land, and respect for the people that were actually there.
Yeah. Which we do. That's great. Great stuff.
Um, there is one thing I want to make mention of. First of all, let me read this real quick. This is on the live chat from Brown Dwarf. He had mentioned, I have found rock stacks in the Bluff Creek area. Some say it's the local Hoopa tribe, but I found boulder stacks, and I don't think it was machinery. Now, the one thing I do want to make mention now, I had no idea what goes on over there on the West Coast, out in California, in the woods and mountains. But one thing I do know in the past history, there was machinery there in the 60s. You know, that was documented. You know, there's research, there's been construction, logging, all the above there. So, and with that being said, here on the East Coast in the national forest, one thing that I know me and Sam had discussed, that we know the service department, they do, you know, in the past they've had, you know, things where, you know, they do work in the forest, because some of the little lakes in the national forest, they're man-made lakes. Things got cleared out. There's been logging. You know, a lot of the national forests used to be logging, a big logging industry. Well, it used, you know, to be more specific, it used to be belong to a plantation. To the state bought it over, and you know, and started making it into a, you know, tree farm and all the, you know, doing regrowth and everything. So there's been a lot of work in the area. Um, I could take you to areas in my wood, you know, the certain parts of my woods where I have found like old wells, what I believe to be wells, because of the way the stones out in the middle of the nowhere, you know, and they still have water sitting in them because you can see the stones rounded out, you know, stacked inside into the ground, and you know, old pieces of old farm tractor equipment. But then with the mention of like boulders and everything, um, you know, I believe, you know, that we can, you know, it's safe not to rule out that machinery could be responsible for some of the rock mounds. Um, Not saying all of them, but I believe, especially when someone mentions large boulders, because we don't know what happened. We don't know the details of what happened when machinery was in those areas at one particular time. Um, so I mean, I don't know. That's just like, you know, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but um, and then hold on, I got Bobcat message me. Click the one I sent you. All right. All right. So, all right. I'm sorry. I was responding to Facebook there. All right. So now I know we've been kind of touching base and talking about you know, pretty much stone piles, and mounds. You know, I know we've been more or less calling them mounds and stuff. You know, but what about more specifically? Let's get into the rock stacks. I know we kind of touched base on this a few times. Well, as far as rock stacks, um, for the one, all right, let's not even think about humans because we know that humans are very common for this for on trails and stuff. And sometimes even in various locations along creek beds. Sometimes when there's people camping, their kids like to play with stones, and the kids get creative. So we know that people do this, but then again, I have come across rock stacks and rocks in very strange locations. I have found rocks up in a tree, you know, and then throughout the national forest in my research area, right in my very same research area, in more than one time in the same general area, I have found stones on top of stumps. And we know the stump, you know, these are still standing stumps that, you know, they're still rooted in the ground, and you know they're only about 2 or 3 feet tall, and there's a rock on top of them. Even, you know, either whatever, for whatever reason that is, I have come across these kind of things, and it makes me wonder. Uh, you know, anyone on the panel, Baltimore, Sam, any of you guys ever come across weird things like that? Like stones on tree stumps, or maybe up in a tree, or maybe well, it doesn't have to just be that, but anywhere in particular. I don't know if you guys ever come across anything strange like that.
I personally have not. The only thing you know that I've come across is that big tree up in the trees. That's it.
Oh yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, that was crazy. I can't explain that to this day, you know. And you know, we were almost in that same general area where those rock mounds were found. It was probably, I don't know, maybe a half a mile away up, still up the mountain. Um, but they did a bunch of clear cutting in there too. They're doing 1,600 acres and they're at like 1,200 right now.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Not
I'm
the
not sure
not
about.
national forest. Um, it's all private.
Yeah. Now I don't know. I know they're doing it up this way. Are they doing any controlled burning down your way?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. But you know how that goes. It can pop up anytime.
Yeah, they've been doing that in various locations over the last few years. Yeah, they did the out just somewhere a few miles on the outskirts of my research area. They did it like where I enter into the forest. I noticed
Mm-hmm.
they've done it all through there. So, um, I see we lost Baltimore there. He must have dropped off, lost connection.
Yeah. Go get it.
I'm sure he'll be back. So, um, now I know Donald Slovey said he had come across stuff like that. Anyone on the live chat? I know Donald mentioned he said he did. Anyone on the live chat? Just curious if you guys have ever come across stones in odd places. Definitely like to hear your input if you have. So, you guys bear with me for a second. Oh, there we go. We got Baltimore back. Great. Baltimore, I don't know. I was on a different page, so I didn't know where I lost you at. We were talking about, we're, excuse me, we're still talking about stones. And as far as rocks, stacks, and rocks being found in odd places, um, like I was telling everybody that I have found stones, and on stumps. I have found stones up in a tree. Have you ever come across anything like this before?
I have. I've actually found some like in openings to into oak trees and stuff like that. I never understood the reasons why. Um, so I mean, sometimes I get baffled that way because I don't know of any animal that would actually bring stones and put them on top of trees and everything like that. I never heard of anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's the first. That's the first for me. But I've actually seen them. There are actually a long time ago when the Native Americans used to make war clubs, and they would actually put stones, these certain stones, on trees like that. They could actually grow around the stone, and
Oh
later
yeah. Okay.
on cut them out there, and as they use them as war clubs. I heard of something similar to that, but actually seeing stones that actually are inside of the trees and everything like that. So that's what really kind of threw me off. Um, so
Hmm. Okay. Nikki, you've been quiet. Let's put you on the spot.
Just
What
trying
do
to
you?
read all this chat.
Oh, okay, okay.
Trying to keep
So,
up with it.
yeah. Well, what's your take on rock stacks and mounds and everything that we've been talking about? And I do apologize. I
Oh,
don't mean I didn't mean to be leaving you out.
no, you're fine. Because I don't hold any weight to rock stacks. you you know me, I'm very skeptical when it comes to evidence like that. Like unless you're there watching the Bigfoot stack that stone,
Hmm.
then it could just be a human to me. Because when you're doing something that requires hands, it's either a human or a Bigfoot, right? Because
No, well, true.
you're not going to really expect a bear to stack several stones up on top of each other, or a raccoon. They may get one or two up on each other just by accident, but when you've got a stack that's like maybe 3 or 4 stones high, and that it's only two possibilities: Bigfoot or a human.
Hmm.
And if unless you're there seeing, the Bigfoot doing it, then you know, when in doubt, throw it out. Like Baltimore says, it's got
That's
to be
right.
human. And more, I've heard people use the excuse that, well, I'm way out here in the middle of no. Well, you're there. If you're there, somebody else can be there, and there is no place that um is like, well, I'm the only person who's in here. No, that doesn't fly by me at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're interesting and they're cool. And I have to tell you, every time me and my kids went out, we built some crazy looking stacks because it's fun. So I mean, that's one reason I don't hold those very high, is because I like to stack rocks, especially in the streams. And the when we were at Oak Creek Canyon there in Arizona, we would
Right.
just have a blast sitting there cooling off in the water making rock stacks. And that's what we did all day long. So it's hard for me to go along with the stack thing.
Hmm. Yeah, like I said, along creek beds and streams, I have come across small rock stacks, and I believe it's safe to say that they are, they're, I believe young children are responsible for a lot of them, because
Mhm.
I believe that they do them. And hey, you know what? And as far as I'm concerned, maybe Squatches watch people do these, and maybe some of the Squatches that don't normally do this, if the Squatches do rock stacks, maybe the ones that watch people do them, maybe they
There's
copy them.
copying. Yeah, could
Yeah.
be. That is a
I mean,
possibility. But something
so
earlier you said was that you had come across a big rock that had been turned over. And my
yeah.
dad, when he used to take me fishing when I was just a kid, he would, with his strength, pull over the rocks next to the stream, and he would have me sit there and pull the worms and grubs out so he could fish with them.
Oh yeah.
You know? So I mean, that's why a lot of that stuff, if it's not a regular animal grubbing or, looking for
Right.
food, then, it could just be human.
Oh yeah.
A
I mean,
person,
I gotta say,
you know what I mean? An
yeah,
intelligent person.
absolutely.
I can't
I've
even
done
say that.
absolutely the same thing. Yeah, I remove big stones myself, looking for things, just to see what's under them. You
Hmm.
know, hopefully it's not a bad, poisonous snake.
I have run into a scorpion before, and that scared the crap
See,
out of me.
Nah,
So,
yeah, we don't have them up here. We have, as far as venomous snakes, we got rattlesnakes and copperheads up here. So, and
uh-huh.
cottonmouths. You move a little further south, you'll run into copperhead. I mean,
Uh-huh.
cottonmouths, but yeah, plenty of rattlesnakes and copperheads up here. And they say snakes are supposed to be bad this year. So,
see, and also too, dealing with rocks, he goes, that's the perfect way of hiding certain things. If you actually use it as a marker and stuff like that, there's sometimes even people even would put like the water or stuff like that, but then to put it there and then put stones around it, and actually when they came back, they would actually know that there's water close by.
yeah.
uh, and that they would actually also too they would actually use these certain stones for cooking as well. I don't know if anybody found any type of burn marks in the insides of the rocks, because rocks are actually good for cooking as well.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
that's another thing as well. We did so much stuff with rocks. When we were younger, I remember killing rattlesnakes with rocks and actually having them for lunch. Uh,
Mm.
the rock is makes it make it for shelter, make it for cooking, making for for protection and things like that. People when they were in battle, sometimes they even had rocks in their pockets, and when the enemy got close by, they would take out the rocks and use those, and beat them on top of the head and have them stunned for a little bit. So rocks were used for a lot of different things. Everybody used them. They still use them to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because,
But I do totally believe that you do come across old rock stacks, like what Sam was talking about, where they look like they're more ancient, from a tribe, or uh I don't know, like he said, old settlers, and that could really be a burial, because that's a lot. There's a lot of that out there. So uh you do
Yeah.
have to be careful with those. I wouldn't want to unearth something.
See, what's wonderful about what Sam was talking about, he doesn't want to disturb anything, which is superb. You'd be too surprised that so many people would find something like that and just want to disturb it and find whatever values in these certain mounts. So that's right. And when people start doing that, it's basically an insult, And but I'm kind of glad that that Sam comes over there and says we're going to leave this thing alone. We're going to photograph and everything like that, and to see what kind of story we could get out of that. So
I
there's so many people out there that that actually go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and now that technology is starting to catch up a little bit, and more popular shows like Josh Gates and all these exploring stuff on Travel Channel, they use all that lidar and all that radars that they can sweep the ground without disturbing it. That stuff is awesome. I love to see that because it's opened up a whole new avenue of exploration and archaeology without disturbing the ground.
Excellent.
So
Yes, true.
because just like in Arizona, there are tons of mounds that are just out there in the forest. You come across them. They're not really have a whole lot of rock to them, but there are definite mounds out there. And I know Mitchell Wade thought that those were burials for something. And it would be nice to know if there's something down there without having to disturb them.
True.
Yeah. Poor Baltimore. I mean, poor Bobcat. He's
What
trying to get
happened?
in here, but it won't. The link won't work for him. He said, "I'm about to throw my laptop out the window."
Oh,
Because it brings him to the hangout thing, but doesn't the screen doesn't fully pull up for him.
oh, shoots.
Oh, okay. Look, Donald Slowly just sent me a picture. I'm gonna do a screen share here because this picture right here is similar to something I came across. Not exactly, but very similar to one of the rocks in a tree. Um, give me a second here.
Brown dwarf.
All right, here we go. All right. Now, as you guys can see, there's a big stone here on the ground, small boulder. Then you got this one right here in the tree.
No, I'm not seeing anything. Are you seeing something?
You guys not see? Do you guys see my mouse?
Yeah, I
Oh,
seen it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. It's
yeah.
pulling up on my phone, but not my tablet for some
Oh, okay, I
reason.
got you. Yeah, but there he sent this to me on Facebook Messenger. But there's a stone right there.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting. Yeah, the stones
Yeah,
I
that's
found up on a
awesome.
tree weren't as big, but I yeah. Just for the record, I have seen quite a bit from Donald Slovey. He shares to me privately. It's because there's a lot he does not post publicly for the, you know, because some of his stuff, in my opinion, is like really, really good stuff, and it's to me it's too good that the reason he doesn't share it is because he's not going to deal with any kind of ridicule for those who might want to be negative about it, but and you guys know me, I'm very objective on a lot of stuff. But what he has shown me multiple times, different things he showed me, I'm actually very impressed. So, you
Man,
know,
that's too cool.
yeah,
Cool.
but
That's good.
yeah. Um,
Now,
so
does he have a closer photo of that stone?
let me see if I don't know if it'll give me the option to zoom. No, it's not going to let me zoom in. Crap. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, that's something else he showed me. Um, tell you what I can do. I could get it closer. Hold on. I'll go through my phone here and I'll do a super quick crop. Uh, uh,
Now, where's this
actually,
area at?
this is in Pennsylvania. That's all I know.
And the water
Floodwaters.
behind there's a
There we
big,
go.
huge lake.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Yeah, I just now noticed that after you said that. All right, hold on. Here's a little bit closer one, and I did an even closer
Wow.
one than that. All right, there it is, sitting there.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool right there.
Now, I'm I'm kind of curious too, just by looking at the stone, how it's so smooth and so rounded,
Right. Which
and sometimes also too. Well, again, let's see that circle on the center of that. Sometimes it looks like it's worn in the center.
oh, right
See that
here.
where you have your mouse? Yeah. See,
Yeah.
sometimes with that right down there, they would actually used to Native Americans used to use stuff like that for grinding like herbs and stuff like that, and actually grinding some bones in order for them to make pottery with, or even some kind of a shell, and with some mud they would actually use that for making pottery. I'm even looking at it that actually looked like a symbol to a face as well. And if you could move your mouse where the area that you were at, Daniel, you could
Right
actually
here.
see a face on it. See right here's the nose. Now go up a little bit. Now go higher. Right there's a nose. Now go a little bit higher. These right there's eyes. So you could probably see a lot of things off that rock.
Because what I was looking at, I see right here where my mouse is, my
Right.
cursor. I was looking at this almost as a handprint. Here's the palm, and maybe like where these could have been fingers at one
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
That's almost at a quick glance. That's what it almost looks like. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that right there is a very interesting stone. I kind of like it a little bit. But I would do too again with that is I
Yeah.
would actually wet it to see what happened. You see, because I actually found a stone one time where it looked like if somebody actually tried to make a face out of it, and I
Huh.
could see the eye sockets of the nose and stuff like that type deal. And I just looked at it and wet it. I thought that was so fascinating. So I went over there and just left it behind and just marked it with my GPS for me to come back again, just to look at it again, to try to figure out what it was.
Right.
So,
Interesting. Um. Yeah. If anyone on the live chat, just out of curiosity, if you guys have ever found anything, got pictures of something like something odd, um, if you have a way to send it to me, send it to me Facebook Messenger. If you're not on Facebook, because I know some of you guys are not on Facebook, um, send it to my email, ecbro98@gmail.com. Um, yeah, ecbro98@gmail.com. Or again, send it directly to my Facebook Messenger, and I'll be glad to pull it up and we can take a look at it. So, um, so yeah, we like sharing pictures too. We'll post pictures. So all the good stuff. So let's see what we got. All right.
You beat me.
Yeah. uh, let's see. All right.
oh, where does Sam go
He got
to?
knocked off by somehow, and he's been trying to come back on. He said something. He's
Oh
gonna try to
man,
reinstall Hangouts on his whatever device he's using.
Yeah,
And
it
cool.
really didn't let him work. Come work.
um, Bobcat Wong has been trying to come back on here. Been trying to come on, so I don't know what he's doing. Uh, I told him to restart his laptop. That may be the problem there because what he showed me that is doing to him has done that to me before too. So Nikki, he's back again.
Who? Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I'm gonna try to. I don't know if that will help. I just clicked hide. This user's message. Well, okay, now I got him. He won't be able to post. So yeah, So if he tries to post again, no, none of us will see it. So, but yeah. So I don't know who he is. Some troll.
Well, yeah, look at his name.
Yeah, I know. Makes you think that maybe somebody or from a certain area created a fake account. Especially that name.
No, those people love to go do that. That's all they have in life is to go from place to place, causing trouble.
Man.
Uh,
Donald Boss said, "Wait, who's back?" I don't know. Did somebody else come on? No.
no, he's talking about dumbasses with the camera.
Oh. Jim Jerkin said, "Well, it's not me. I think you're admitting the guilt, Jim." I'm just
Uh,
picking Jim.
Today I had an interesting conversation with a couple of old timers down when I was actually kicking my tire out today, and we were talking about Bigfoot and the stuff that's around here in B County and everything. And they were just so fascinated with it. And I probably talked to them for a good 30, 45 minutes. And so they're going, and so I mean, they were just curious. They were saying when they were growing up, that they heard stories about that. They heard, but they didn't call it Bigfoot. They call it Hombre Ladino, or in Spanish, it translates to the wild man. That people always talked about it, but they never saw it. But people just warned them about it. Not to be going out at night, or else this would happen to you. And so this story has been around since they were teenagers, and they're like in their 80s now. And I thought that was so fascinating. And they go, well, with all the technology that we have now, why can't we catch them on film or catch them on camera? And I told them because they're too smart. Because right now they have the perfect ability to mess with our trail cameras. And so he goes, well, why can't you put cameras all the way around? He goes, well, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to outsmart the animal, but there's sometimes that it's way too smart for us. And they were so fascinated with it, and but they never, ever, ever went up there and said, that you're crazy, that you're a nut, or anything like that. They were just open to suggestions and saying, and we even had a few more other people coming into this conversation. They also said, none of them had any negative stuff to say about Bigfoot, but there's just stuff out there that we haven't found yet, and apparently that they believe that there was something out here in the South Texas woods that it still hasn't been found yet. So I thought that was fascinating. That's the kind of stuff that we have to come up there and talk to the people and making sure that they know that we're not nuts and we're just doing our jobs, just to try to find answers to the questions that we're actually looking for. And you have some certain few individuals that that basically talk with a smoky mirrors, trying to confuse people. Instead of telling them what it is just trying to find information the best we possibly can, and not to confuse anybody about it. That's what makes us who we are, and then that's what makes this program. What we're doing here tonight. A great program where we could actually talk about, and to help other people. That's what our job is here. So
Interesting. Real quick, I want to make a mention. Right there in the live chat. I am actually I very seldomly do this, but made a post there in the live chat. Anybody who wants to come on and join us live, I posted the Hangouts link that you would be coming on live with us. I do recommend to use a headset or a set of earbuds if you have them. It does help with audio. So there's a link right there. I posted above. So come on in if you guys want to come in there, share information, or you could just stay in the live chat. There's no pressure. And Donald sent me. Oh, what's this? Hold on. Donald sent me a couple more things here. All right. He said he found this on the bank of a creek. So let me click that, and I'll do another screen share here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now that is interesting. Now he has another one.
Wow.
Oh, that's the other one. Hold on, let me go back the other way. All right, there is that one, and then that there is odd looking right there.
See, that is important. That is, see that stone in the center. Uh,
Yeah.
can you ask him if that is just a round stone in there, or is that stationary there?
All right, I know he's
I
listening,
know
so
what that is.
I'll wait for him to respond on that.
Wow.
Yeah, Donald. Yeah, just like Baltimore was asking, if you could give us any detail about what exactly that is, yeah, definitely give us some feedback on that.
That
So
is awesome.
yeah, it's definitely interesting. That's for sure.
See, a lot of times too is that there's some tribes that actually that would be like a modern pistol that would be actually used for medicine, something small. How they would grind their herbs and things like that, and there's actually like some moss and things like that that would actually use when they had wounds on their arms and everything, and they would mash them up. They would actually mash them up real good, and they would actually put it on wounds. So that's why I asked if that stone was positioned properly because it looked like a little, small little pedestal. Wow,
Oh,
that's amazing.
he said, yeah, he said the other ones is a round rock, and the yellow one is an acorn. So
Wow. Oh yeah, he usually has
yeah,
to. Man, that is fascinating. That is the pedestal. That's,
yeah,
yeah. Wow. Now, where's this at
that
again?
is pretty cool. He's up in Pennsylvania.
Where at in Pennsylvania?
Um, hold on, I'll tell you in just a second, because I know it's real close to where he lives. Oh crap, he doesn't post it publicly on his timeline. On his, he had told me once before. I can't remember though. Hmm.
See, see, like what they would also,
Oh, did Baltimore freeze up?
and Daniel, and also too, it's pretty. No.
Hey, repeat that real quick. You broke up. A lot of what you said got cut out. Uh oh. You froze up right now, Baltimore.
Okay. Also, can you hear me? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, all right. I can hear you now.
Still froze up. Okay. See what they would actually do too. They
Yeah,
would
you're all
actually
right.
get that stone. Yeah, stones like that, and they would actually boil them, and they get all the that certain chemical out of there, and they would make it into they would actually make it into like a porridge. Because that would
Huh.
basically have form of protein, or nowadays, if you are in your survival mode, it's always good to bring some pantyhose with you, especially when the acorns are falling, and you mash that up and you put the creek or a running river and get and like everything could get cleaned up and everything like that, and that you could actually eat it, and that's actually a big form of protein. So that's pretty wild.
Um.
Spartansburg.
Yeah, Spartansburg, Pennsylvania. So I guess
Wow.
what he's saying is, I am Spartan. Oh.
It's so stupid.
Hold on, let me look up. I want to see how far that is from me.
I love stuff like wow. That's
Dinobot. Oh, nervous.
Viper Getty said, "Take a shot of whiskey and go for it." Try to get Dinobot to, because he's
Come
shy.
on.
He said, "I'm nervous." Don't be nervous.
This is probably the best show to get on live because we're very laid back and it's like It's not.
He's 16
It's
years
not like
old,
when you're on.
so
Hey, get
I can
on.
understand he's young
Oh,
and nervous.
okay.
Hey, put it this way, I like, me personally, I like to see the younger crowd here. And
Oh
when I
yeah,
first got started, here, coming to your show with you and Shaky, I was nervous as well too. And look at a few more shows later, I'm still here. So this show is, we basically have fun here, and we talk about anything that we want to talk about. It takes a lot of
oh
courage
yeah,
to come up
absolutely.
here and talking to everybody and stuff. There's sometimes that sometimes you take your good with your bad sometimes. But everything turns out all good. So if somebody young like that at
Oh
the age of 16 wants to come out, and be part of the panel, man, by all means, come on.
yeah, Spartansburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's 6 hours north of me, and yeah, he's got a big lake right there. It's called Clear Lake,
Ouch.
and he's got a creek that runs into it. Actually, a couple of them. One,
Wow.
two. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, hold up. There's one, two, three, four. Because there's two that kind of connect together, then run into the lake, and then there's two others on the other, one on the side and one on the back end of the lake. That's pretty cool. All right, pretty cool. Dinobot said, "Give him 5 minutes to think about it, please." so, so, let's see what we got here. No, 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 no. Dinobot, didn't you live up near me or? Oh, I guess that's what he's asking.
Put it this way. I'm pretty sure that he'll come on because I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, watch. Once he gets on, he'll enjoy it. He'll want to be on all the time.
oh for sure. Oh definitely.
uh,
Oh definitely.
till well, it's like like you mentioned when you first got on, when you first started doing these, you were nervous too, and I was too because when I first got on, I started off like me and Nikki. We started off with looking for Bigfoot News Hour. That was with Shane Bradbury, and
Yeah.
because Shane had me on as a guest one time,
Right.
and share some information, and um then then ever since I started joining in, when he did a thing once a week, and I had fun with it. It was cool just to listen in and share my input, along with everybody else's opinion on certain things, and so I, that's when I went on to develop my own, and so we could have group discussions on certain things, but it's all good.
Hey,
Uh,
Daniel.
yeah.
When you block somebody on your end, is there a way to unblock them?
Um. Good question. I would have to find them. Yeah, actually, I think I can if I.
Well, my sister's been
Uh,
trying to get on the chat and she can't ever since that one day she got booted.
who did it?
It was B.
What
Remember
are?
me?
Tell you what. Let me. Yeah. What name does she go by on YouTube then, or what's her username?
I don't know. I guess. Hold on. Let me see. Oh shoot.
Because
What
you.
did I just do?
Yeah, if you could get her username exactly the way she spells it, I could probably see if I can pull it up and find her.
Uh,
Look, you made B feel bad. She said, "Nikki, I'm still so sorry."
okay. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
Oh, it won't let me. Oh, wait. What in the world am I doing? What am I doing?
You sending it to me through Facebook Messenger?
Well, I was trying to, but I got too many things open,
Oh, okay.
and it's
That's like me. I got 3 windows open right now.
yeah.
I I got Facebook, I got the live chat, and then I got the page, the section where I could see you guys. But I'm at the live chat right now.
See, it won't let me copy and paste. That
Hey,
sucks.
Marissa, how you doing? Great to have you on with us today, Marissa Rowe. Is it Rowe or Row? All right. B. Lynn said she'll try to unblock her. Yeah. Either one of us could do it. I might be able to do. Okay, hold on. Nikki sent me. All right, let me copy that. Come back to
Okay,
YouTube.
I send it to Deb too because I have no clue.
Susan's. Oh, I think I found it. Wait, hold on. Susan Lucero O'Brien TV. What?
What?
I don't know. That name came up, but under different.
A
There's
different thing?
there's a list of different videos and stuff. But does she have
I
an
don't think.
established YouTube channel or?
No, not that I know of that she's told me about.
Uh,
Oh, look, my friend Sarah came on.
does she have a playlist
Oh,
of
are you using
Zeppelin?
Sarah's? She's on her friend's thing. She came on the chat, but she's using a friend's
Oh,
name. She
oh,
said she
okay.
found a way. She found a way to do it, but that's not her. That's my sister. That's funny.
So she is on the live chat right now.
She is on the live chat as Sarah, but her name is Suzanne.
Oh,
Okay, she's on. She found a way. I don't know how that worked. Why she can't get on?
oh, okay. Well, it's nice to meet you. And you said her name's Susan.
Susie. Yeah, I can just call her Susie.
Oh, okay. Hey, B Lynn, don't click on Sarah's name. So,
Don't make her feel bad.
I think. ¿Qué pasa, Mufasa? The only Mufasa I know is from The Lion King. uh, no. She
Okay,
said,
what were we
"Hola, glad
talking
to be
about?
here." Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we did get a little sidetracked there. Last
Mm-hmm.
time we were talking, we were mentioning finding out where Donald lives. He lives up in Spartansburg, Pennsylvania, which I believe that is almost a straight shot. Yeah, that's 6 hours north of me, and so, but yeah, he has some very interesting things there. So, um, all right.
And he has a treasure trove, I can tell you.
Uh, it, Donald, if you're still listening, if you get a chance, uh, definitely send Baltimore on Facebook. Send some of the pictures that you showed me because what he has showed me, he's got a very interesting game trail picture. Actually, two different ones, and I was actually very impressed. So yeah, he's got some pretty cool things going on there. He's got a collection of tracks, and yeah, he's definitely got activity going on there. He's definitely got something there. So, um, okay, I'll be on. All right, Dinobot said, "Okay, I'll be on in about a minute." So,
Yeah.
all right, we will give you a warm welcome. We will not attack you. What should you use, phone or laptop? If you got a headset or earbuds, either one will work. Long as it's got a microphone to it, it will help with the audio and any noise interference.
Hey, Harold.
What?
You
What?
can't ask questions like that.
Wait, wait. Hey, Susie, was Nikki mean to you? Oh, he's trying to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Mm-mm-mm. Uh, Harold said, "Ha ha, Nikki, you guilty?"
Well, there is 7 years difference between us. So
Okay.
so
So,
she was always trying to hang around. Yeah.
oh, so she okay, so she is younger.
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Hill said, "I got a picture I need feedback on. I never share my pictures of Bigfoot, but this seemed different." Tony, feel free. Um, all right, that's all right, Dinobot. That still should be able to work. We'll find out. Um, Tony, I'm going to put my email right here in the live chat. ECBRO 98. Um, unless you're friends with me on Facebook, send it to my Facebook Messenger. If not, there is my email address right there. Send it to my email, and I'll. If you want us to pull it up and discuss it, I'll be more than glad to. So,
Is that Bobcat? Did he finally make it on?
he's on the live chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, oh, your sister's talking good about you. She's a good sister. She's very well behaved, and could do, she could do more wrong. Uh,
I
oh,
maybe do no
okay,
wrong.
yeah, and she was a wild child. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what she meant. She could do no wrong. So,
Yeah.
uh,
She's corrected it. Thank you. Thank you very much, sister. I appreciate that. I hope you had a better day than this
Sa-
morning.
Sarah, how much is Nikki paying you for this?
Nothing. Zero.
Dinobot said, "Okay, here goes nothing." So,
We're waiting.
yeah, we shall see here very shortly. All right. If Dinobot gets on here, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get him to share his story, and this will. Did he make it? I thought I heard something for a second. No. So this will be his first time. So everybody, be patient. Harold said, "Go, Dino, go."
Hey Daniel, I want to remember those photos that showed you when I was in the conference dealing with that
Oh,
dealing with the hut photos.
yeah.
I want to try to talk to Mr. Robbie and probably get ask him if I could probably put a couple of them up in the in your next show. Uh,
Okay.
and because so those photos are pretty fascinating, dealing with this a Bigfoot structure, and
Right.
I don't think that anybody has seen anything like that before. You know, and even seeing that clay bowl that was actually inside that wall that was totally fascinating. Um, and also those stick structures that were by the hut where they actually put it by the water. So I don't know if they use that for cleaning his feet or actually reaching for water for it to drink. So those photos right there are pretty fascinating. So
Hmm. Hold on one second. All right. Dinobot said, "It says we're sorry, but you do not have access to the service. Please contact your organization administrator for access." Basically, what you need to do, you need to have Hangouts installed. You have to have the Hangouts app installed in order to join. So if you could
Yeah.
download the Hangouts app, it should allow you to go through. And being your first time, it may ask you to install a plugin. If that's the case, just click accept or allow. But if you're coming on through your phone, it should, as long as you have the Hangouts app, it should let you come right through.
Oh,
So,
he's there.
There
oh,
he
he may,
is.
oh,
It worked. Whatever it
oh, all
is.
Hello.
right.
How's it
He's high.
going?
Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you made it on. So,
Can you guys hear me or?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
oh
can.
we
yeah,
can hear
you,
you.
you sound real
All
good.
right. All right. How's it
So,
going?
not too bad, not too bad. So this is your first time on, ever doing something like this, right?
Yes, I do believe.
uh, where are you from, Donald?
I'm not gonna give anyone specific for personal reasons,
Oh no, that's
No
fine.
problem.
Like,
but Minnesota.
oh, okay.
Cool.
That's why you
Oh,
sound Canadian.
Are you an Abe Del Rio fan then? He's with the Minnesota. What
I
is it? MNBRT.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh,
Oh, the
okay.
Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team.
Also, there's another
He
group from Minnesota, the She Squatchers. Jen
the She
Cruz and Jen
Squatchers as
Grover.
well.
Yeah. Jen Cruz, she's from Minnesota. Jenna Grover is from South Dakota, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Oh
So.
well, I've never heard about that.
Oh, they're
So
those are two really good groups. I mean, Abe has been kind of out of the scene lately, but he's on his way back. I've been starting to see videos now.
yeah, and sorry, I don't really want to show my face for kind of personal reasons. So you're just gonna have to
That's
stare at my
fine.
forehead.
That's
Well,
fine.
tell you what, if you take your mouse, your cursor, and scroll to the top of your screen, there's a menu up there. It only shows up if you scroll your mouse up there, and you'll see where it has a camera icon. If you click that, it'll actually turn the camera off, like mine is right now.
Uh,
So,
I don't see that.
are you on
wait.
a laptop?
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There
You
we
got
go.
it.
There you
Yeah.
You got it.
So,
go. So,
so
what got you interested in Bigfoot?
Well, it was mainly finding Bigfoot in Monster Quest, watching that as a kid,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah,
now I
Monster
know.
Quest. I like that.
Yeah, I not just Bigfoot in general, but just like cryptozoology and just general.
Hmm.
So
Right.
at least that's what got me interested into the subject.
Now you had a Bigfoot encounter. Is that correct?
Um, couldn't really tell you. All I know is that I heard knocks, and that was really it. Which it could have been anything, whether that be woodpecker or maybe someone screwing with me. But that's all I've had. And
Well,
I went out. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna ask you. Well, where were you, and I mean, what were you doing? What led up to you hearing all this? Could you kind of give us a breakdown, like the scenario,
Well,
like time of day?
it was about it was not last month. It was January, so a few months ago. I was at I believe it was Itasca State Park.
I've
Um,
heard of that.
and I went there actually intentionally trying to see if I could get some sort of action because I went on the BFRO's website and there were a few sightings in Itasca County. So I thought, why not figure out something? So I just went out to the woods where there was no people, and I did just a couple, um, sorry, just a couple knocks on a tree, just, and out in the distance, I'd say maybe I don't know about a mile or so, I hear, and that was it. It
Wow.
didn't sound like gunshots. It just sounded like knocking on a table. But it was
Wow.
really really loud.
Wow.
Now that sounds like you got responses. I mean, because I've gotten responses from tree knocks, and most of them have been fairly close. But yeah, I'm thinking you got responses, and the thing is, Minnesota is actually been known to be a very super squatchy state. Um, there was an episode of Finding Bigfoot that was in Minnesota, and I know there's one particular town that's actually declared themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki or Baltimore, but there was an episode of Finding Bigfoot that actually where they declared their one particular area the squatchiest state. Oh, actually, I think the state or the town, the squatchiest state or town in the United States.
Oh yeah, that was
um,
Reamer, Minnesota.
okay, now how far is that from you?
Um, I really don't know. I have looked it up on Google Maps before, and I don't know. I'd say maybe 200 miles or
Okay,
Wow.
so.
Hmm.
It's towards more the center of Minnesota, and I'm in the northern portion.
Mm.
okay.
Cool.
See, the thing is also too. Now, do you? So, what do you? What name do you go by? Do you mind me asking?
Um, do you mean personally, or do you mean like online?
Personally, what would you like for us to call you on the show?
Uh, Reed would be fine.
Reed.
REID. That
Oh,
Okay,
would be
Reed.
okay.
fine.
All
Read
right,
Norman.
Reed.
Yeah.
Reed. I'll tell you like this. For 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 me here in South Texas, I live in B County, and there have been so many reports all around the state and places that they've been hundreds of miles away from B County, and I've heard so many different stories about it. They're a number one. You know, um you could be like 100 miles away, 50 miles away, or whatever. We just don't know how these animals travel, and or when the very first time that when I ever heard a tree knock, it was actually down. I was actually maybe like around from B County. I would say like around 25, 30 miles away, and we were down this creek bottom, and and then I'll go back a little bit. Uh, my friend and I would actually go into this certain land and actually check out wildlife and the terrain and everything like that. And then, so in order for us to communicate, we would actually hit trees, like that we would determine how far we were because the cell phones that we had, we just couldn't communicate with each other. The only way that we could communicate with each other was knocking on trees, like that we knew exactly where we were at. And then and then all of a sudden my buddy comes back. We were gone for around an hour, and went our separate ways. And then all of a sudden she comes up and says that what I needed. He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Did you knock on the trees?" I said, "No, I only knocked on the tree one time." He goes, "Man, you something was knocking on the trees that was actually sounded like tap, and then tap tap, and then I thought that was you." I said, "No, it wasn't me." So the next day come back in the same area, and we were both sitting. We were just about to go down the creek, and then all of a sudden we hear this loud tree knock that it actually sounded like if something got a big old baseball bat and slammed it against a tree. And we just both looked at each other, and we were going, "Hey, we want to go down the creek today?" And we just looked at each other and goes, "No way," because we just didn't know what that thing was. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I just want to throw that story out there.
Oh, okay. So do your like what knocks mean what is that supposed to be like I'm here and then it's like hey I need help or how does
Uh,
that
to,
work?
to me, I'm thinking it's a form of communication. I
Yeah,
think,
I agree.
and I'm thinking to let me know of what area. If it was, put it this way, if it was me and somebody else in the woods, and I didn't want anybody to find out, where I'm at, and then so I would probably hit not one time exactly to let my buddy know where I'm at. So to me, it's basically a form of communication. People think it's
Yeah,
warnings. People think it's warnings. It could possibly be a warning. For other Sasquatch. I mean, what's the most beautiful thing about the stuff that we do is actually the unknown because we don't know why they do this. And I'm just saying out, just putting it out there. To me, it could be a form of communication. You know,
yeah. I'm going to agree with Baltimore because like you started to mention is to do with the location, like let you know where you're at. I know I've shared this before because what led me to believe or come to that conclusion personally was an incident during the daytime when I decided to give off a tree knock, and I got two responses. One came from the opposite ridge that we were on. Looking at that ridge, it was over off to my left, and then after that tree knock went off, over to my right, further up that ridge, was another knock. And I was fascinated because I was like, here, if you look at the pattern, it's a triangle. You got 3 points of a triangle. So, and I was looking at it as, hey, I'm letting them know, bang, I'm right here. There, to me, the way it worked out, it just the way it coordinated. To me, it just resulted in me thinking, okay, they're alerting each other to where they're at. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion. So, that's what led me to believe that. Could it have been something else? More, very possible. But it is that one incident to me is what it did. Um, I've had right over across the forest road into the woods where we had our encounter back in 2014. From out of nowhere, late at night, all a group of us sitting at the campsite about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, it's been dead quiet after hearing some owls and some other noises. From out of nowhere, boom! Someone sounded like somebody took a Louisville Slugger and banged it on one of the pine trees across across from our camp. Because those pine trees, when you bang on one of the pine trees out there, they give off a loud, bassy knock, and I love them. But yeah, I tell you what, that one tree knock that we had across from camp, it brought my father out of his tent. He's like, I heard that, and I started laughing. I pointed over where it came from. I said, Dad, it just happened just inside the tree line over there, and because that's where we had an encounter at. And so here it is, dead quiet, hearing that tree knock, and maybe there was that one squatch letting the others know, hey, I'm already down here, guys. Come on down off the ridge. So, I mean, little things like that is what I pick up on, and what I believe, them to be, forms of communication and whatnot. And, you know, like I said, it could be something else, but just the way I hear it and pick it up, is the way I experience it is what's leading me to believe that it is a communication of where they're at, so um
So, Reed, how often do you go out to the woods?
Um, Not so much. I'm a city boy. I I like my house. I like to stay in my house. But anytime I can get out in the woods, I will. Like I'll
right.
go out and hang out with my friends. Just we'll try and make like stupid forts up in the trees. We usually fail because we can never get up the dang tree. But we try. We try.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. When I was a young kid, we used to build forts and everything all the time. Well, we used whatever was available. Sometimes there was a group of boulders and stuff, and we used to use the rocks that had to form like little dens of caves. Those used to be our forts to play in when we were a kid up north. But Dad used to take us to show us how. Dad used to show us how to make teepee forts because Dad used to take us out and show us the forts that him and his buddies and brothers used to make when they were in the woods. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Dad used to build. Dad showed me how to build pretty cool looking teepees out there, and yeah, we used to have fun doing that. But so um, but yeah, definitely don't be afraid to get out there in the woods. You'd be amazed the experiences you have. In general, you don't have to see a Bigfoot to experience in life, and but if you get out there in the woods, you'll definitely gain a serious appreciation for nature too. But and just being out there, there's a lot to learn. And Baltimore, I'm sure, will tell you, and, but there's a lot to learn just being out there. If you just take your time about being out there and enjoy it. The main thing is to enjoy it. But just get out there and you never know. I mean, it's the little things that you come across that really kind of weigh on you. That you pick up over time. So. But
Yeah. So the thing,
um,
also to read is also good to me personally. There's some days that I could there'll be weeks or sometimes even months that it take that I have not been in the woods and everything like that. And then, but there's some time, but there's some weekends and stuff. There's some weekends when I put my snake chaps on and go down these creeks and start exploring. And because the terrain always changes all the time through the weathers and everything like that. What's wonderful about it for me is that I take an interest in birding and I have my bionic ears and stuff like that and just listen what's out there. And I always tell people too is when you're doing this stuff for the first time, but don't force it. Just take your time. And if you're really interested in what you're doing, it will come natural to you. There's sometimes also too when you gather your a group of friends together and say, "Hey, look, um, let's go out camping one day. I've never done camping before. Let's go explore. Let's go camping. Let's go make some hot dogs, bring some tents, and camp out. Just sit out there and just listen to the great outdoors and see the different sounds that you hear." But I always tell people, when you're going Bigfoot hunting and everything like that, is never force it. Just take your time doing what you're doing and get familiarized with the wild animals that are around there, and always be safe at it. So always again, you just go out there and just enjoy nature and just take your time with it.
All right.
Absolutely. Anyone on the live chat have any questions? Nikki, meanwhile, while anyone pops up with questions, did you have anything you want to ask or talk to Reed about?
Well, Reed always has some really great questions when he's in the chat, and I appreciate that.
Oh
And
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. And well, I'm not the researcher that goes out either all the time. I get very selected moments that I'm out there. I wish I could be out there more, but I don't live in an area that has Bigfoot. So, like I used to anyway. So it's hard. So I live through these guys, and I watch everything they put out and I listen to everything they say. And that's okay because we're all part of the community and that's how we pull together and come up with our findings. Whether you be a believer, a knower, a armchair researcher, or just a plain searcher for yourself, it's a good community. And if you find your niche and you find some people that you can hang out with, then you can have a lot of fun in this field. And that's what it's about, having fun and doing something you like to do. Because the minute it becomes, you know, stressful or bad, you don't really need that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
just keep
I
it up.
yeah, I just don't really have people to talk to about this kind of subject because most people just think I'm kind of stupid for
Hmm.
believing in this. So
Right,
I
right.
never usually bring it up in public or with friends and whatnot.
Well, that's totally understandable too. I mean, um, but yeah, we're just there's actually several out there, and I'm glad you have come across our podcast to interact with us, and definitely appreciate your questions. Yeah, sometimes they're hard to keep up with because yeah, but it's okay. That's all good though. Definitely appreciate that though. And one thing Nikki forgot to mention, she failed to mention that we're the best Bigfoot discussion podcast out there right now. But
Oh yeah, that's
so I
that's
mean,
the gosh darn truth.
even our haters love our show because I mean
Uh-huh.
they always
They
give us
watch us.
a dislike and everything. It lets us know they're watching us, so that's a big plus on our high.
Yeah.
Ignore the haters, embracing the lovers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. But, the other thing you mentioned too, it's hard to speak about this topic because of there is a lot of negative people when it comes to this because there's a lot of naysayers and whatnot. But You'll be surprised. I know exactly where you're coming from because as long as I've been in this, I get to meet different people, and I mean I get around. Especially with my job, I as much traveling as I've been doing, I've been interacting with people and asking certain questions. And sometimes there's certain questions if you know how to ask, you'll be surprised what the information you might pick up on or what they're willing to share. Um, you know, even with me when I go on my job sites, on occasions I get people they see if I'm wearing one of my Bigfoot shirts, and they'll start asking me, and then like it was just maybe a month ago when somebody asked me about the shirt I had on. It was a Bigfoot shirt. He's like, "Man, where'd you get that shirt?" And it was like actually one of the ones I designed, and so then he started telling me information. He was like him and his brother or whatever on their they have like 50 acres. They have a lot that's 50 acres, but surrounded by nothing but woods and mountains. But they own 50 acres in this particular area where they go hunting on. And he's told me the experiences they had out there and the things they heard and saw. Of course, they tell their family about it, and their family think they're nuts, but they know what's out there. And a T-shirt, it got this. This is an older guy too, and it got him to open up to share his information. But like I said, on occasions I do get to speaking to people, and eventually I'll bring up, I'll mention Bigfoot. but but a lot of times I'm always talking about nature and wildlife with them and asking what they hear and experience out there. And so yeah, on some occasions, yeah, you'll get people to share information. You'll be surprised. So,
Hey,
but
Reed,
I
are there other researchers out there in your area that actually look for Bigfoot, or do you know anybody that does that other than you?
Um, nope, not that I know of.
Okay,
Um, I believe I'm the only one, the self-proclaimed researcher in quotations, even though I'm just kind of more of an enthusiast around
right.
my area.
Okay, because the only reason why I was saying is that I remember the first time that I actually had my Bigfoot experience is I was trying to contact people from East Texas, dealing with for Bigfoot research, and nobody called me because nobody called me at all. And I wanted to try to contact people with the experience that I had down here, and nobody bothered to call me or anything. And then I took it upon myself, to pick up the ball and run with it. And I went as far as making, putting a little. I even had a little place where I could actually meet, have people come to my meetings and meet. And then I actually put it on the paper, and I put it on these things called the community shorts, and they were actually free. And then if anybody had any Bigfoot encounters, I was going to have a Bigfoot meeting on this day and time. And you'd be surprised. The very first meeting that I had, 6 people showed up. And at first I was nervous and terrified, nervous and scared. What did I possibly do to open myself up to this in front of my family and the public? And to me, it was the best thing that I ever did. And now I have so many people now following what I do. And again, it takes a lot of courage to do the stuff that we do, because you're going to come up there and all the ridicules and everything like that from other people, thinking that we're nuts or alcoholics or drug addicts. But we just do what we do is just come up there, try to get our information out there. So I don't know if there's something that you might be interested in doing where you're at.
Yeah, as I don't think I'd be ready to do what you do, Baltimore. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm brave enough to like do all that, but
well,
so
well, one thing that always helps too. I mean, especially if you're not too acquainted or familiar with nature, like the woods, is you know find somebody that alone will help you too. And the more you're out there, Actually, the more you're out there, you'll start developing your own sense of security, your own comfort. Because some of the places I go into, my research area, it's a very large area, but I stay focused on particular areas out there. On occasions, I'll go on the other end, and which is there's nobody around. There's no areas where people camp up there, and some of the places I've been out there, and some of the steep hills and bridges I climbed in the past, you know, when people find out where I go and what kind of terrain I go on, like, they're always asking me, well, who else is with you? I said, nobody. I go by myself. You know, because I take chances. I've done some crazy things that I probably shouldn't have done because I could have got hurt. But you know, um, but there's I'm not telling you to go climb Mount Everest, but there's it's just there's areas you could go into. Sometimes you don't have to go in too far, but um, there's certain places you just take your time and get familiar with nature, and then as you develop your own, like I said, once you get more comfortable, you can take the chance of going further. But I like to go in far and deep because it's sometimes it's the more interesting things. There's secrets that I believe that are hiding in deep places. If that makes any sense. But I feel like my chances are more likely to come across something or experiencing something the further I go in, and that's why on occasions I do take that chance, and see what I come up with. But it's not guaranteed to, you're not guaranteed to experience anything because there's people that have been in this field for 40, 50 years. Some still say till today they still haven't seen it, and they dedicate a lot of their time in the woods. There's people that may have seen one or two after 40, 50 years or more, but you know, that's just the way it goes. Um, of course, if somebody experiences something, a lot of times people ain't going to share their information. Um, then again, you got people that might see them on a daily basis when they go in the woods, which if that's the case, you think there would be evidence of that, but that's just hearsay. So, um, I don't know. So there's I don't know. Like I said, just take your time. I'm sure you'll find in time. You'll find it upon yourself to get the nerve to hell with it. I'm going in the woods. you know. So
Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday.
yeah.
Hey,
So
Reed,
yeah.
do you drive a vehicle?
Uh, no, not yet, but I do have my permit.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I have a sticker in the back of my truck that has a Bigfoot research on it, and when I pump gas or whatever, people come up to me, and then they're just fascinated with the sticker, and they go as far as taking. They ask me if they won't mind taking photos of my sticker. I say, hey, go right ahead, by all means. And then from there, people just start opening up and starts telling their Bigfoot encounters. And again, any little thing that we have, even a T-shirt, like Daniel was saying, would come up there and have a conversation, start up a conversation. So that's why I was asking if you had a vehicle or anything like that.
And the one thing Baltimore didn't mention when they take pictures of the sticker on his truck, he likes to jump in there and photobomb the photo. Nah, just
All right. So, note to self: get stickers.
There you go. And they're real cheap online. You can buy them online, or you could actually. There's different websites you can go to if you want to design your own. Like I used to have one that was on my back when I had my Chevy Blazer. I had it professionally done though. I had a regular decal shop, but um, so I have yet to do that to my personal vehicle that I have now. But no, I can't do that anytime soon. So, but let me see something real quick. I've been ignoring the live chat here,
Johnson
but
or Tony said, "Did you get the email?"
oh, okay. He sent it in my email. I thought he was talking about. All right, I'll check that real quick. Because for some reason I was under the impression that he sent it to my Facebook Messenger. I've been watching Facebook, but Hold on, I'm
And
checking.
sorry that this is kind of abrupt, but I gotta go. My
Oh,
dad's coming to get me. I'm going to
Oh,
his
okay.
okay.
house, so
Well,
Thanks for
anytime,
coming on.
yeah, anytime you're gonna come on the show, be free to, and because we enjoy your company and enjoy what you had to say. I really do appreciate you coming up here.
all
Yeah,
right.
and yeah, definitely thank you for coming on. This is good. So
All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to come on. It's actually quite the honor.
Okay.
absolutely. And like I said, anytime we're on any Friday night, normally we do go live at 8. Well, we were running a little behind, so that's why we started at 9 tonight. So, but
That's
yeah.
fine.
Well,
So
I'm gonna call it a night myself. So it was again. Thank you very much for having me on your show again, Daniel. I really do appreciate it. You too, Nikki. So I am going to
Yeah.
call it a night. I had a rough day today. So
All right. Well.
Okay. We'll see you later.
all right,
All right.
all right,
All right.
Daniel.
all
See
right,
everybody. See everybody.
All right.
See everybody next
Bye,
Friday.
Reed.
All right. Bye
all
bye.
right. Yeah, Reed,
Bye.
Baltimore. Thank you guys very much. And
Bye.
well, absolutely. And Tony, just to let you know, I do see it in my email, so I will definitely check that out here very shortly. We are running later than we normally do. Well, of course, we started later, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
we. I'm
Robert,
sorry. Go ahead, Nikki.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to say Robert had asked a question earlier and now he reposted it about when we're out camping, what kind of foods do we cook and do we think that the smells would attract Sasquatch?
Oh well, me personally, when I go camping, I love. I get creative. I mean, I like to get what I call easy foods. I will cook up and fry burgers and hot dogs. I like smoked sausages, like Johnsonville or Hillshire Farms smoked cheddar dogs, kielbasa. And I cook a lot of that up. I fry that up, and I also sometimes I'll dice up potatoes and onions. I'll fry them up and get them all nice and crispy, and then I like to mix them with I'll make oodles of noodles. Yeah, I always bring oodles of noodles camping with me, but I'll cook up the fried potatoes and onions and mix it up, and it's a makes a very good meal, and it does fill you up. But everything I cook, yeah, I mean, yeah, those the smells of food and stuff, especially in the air, those foods do travel. And of course, a lot of wildlife smells them, and especially my area, it's got a lot of bears in the area, so you can't forget the bears that it could also possibly attract. But yeah, I think Sasquatch will most likely smell what you cook, because especially if they're in the right direction of catching the wind of it. So I know Bobo likes using bacon. I love bacon out in the woods, like, especially camping and cooking breakfast. Yeah, definitely,
Yep.
definitely take bacon with you.
Love bacon. Gotta have the bacon.
Oh,
And my sister sent me a text saying, no, you gotta have chorizo when you're out there camping.
oh, what's that?
It's like a Spanish sausage.
Oh,
A
okay.
Mexican sausage. It's a spicy sausage. A
You see,
breakfast
that's
sausage.
that sounds like
Yeah.
there was a sausage I never heard of till some friends of mine. They're from where I'm from, but they live down here. They're Portuguese. I got a lot of Portuguese friends, and they say Portuguese and Spanish almost could understand each other, I think. But there was a I can't think of it right offhand, but there's a Portuguese sausage they use in a lot of their food. And
Mhm.
it's got a slight spice to it too. But it's really good. I love it. The first time I've ever had it, I fell in love with the stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's a Portuguese sausage. But yeah,
Mm.
it's hard to find. I think it's only certain grocery stores might have it, like Kroger's or something. But
My
so
sister said the Sasquatch doesn't want your noodles.
I don't want his noodle either. Oh man, I was gonna add more to that, but I'm gonna behave.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so, but everybody, I'm gonna off air.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just asking if there was anything you wanted to share before we go off air.
Oh, okay. Nope. You can find me on my Bigfoot group, Bigfoot Weekly. It's a closed group, but just ask to join up and put you in there. And you haven't plugged the your conference, dear.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you need to mark this on your calendar and get your schedule. You know, get your time in with your employer to mark the time off. If you work weekends, come out here, spend a long weekend, spend a whole week because we got camping coming up too. But June 29th in Waynesboro, Virginia. That's right, June 29th in Waynesboro, Virginia at the Best Western Plus is the annual ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Conference. That's right, you're not going to want to miss that. You want to come on out there. We got guest speakers, we got a large group of vendors, and so much more. Raffles all day long, food and drink, Chaos Mountain Brewing Company out of Roanoke, Virginia. And there'll be evidence and storytelling and face painting for the children, even adults if you want it done too. So, henna tattoos. She's got Bigfoot sketch. So a lot of people got a lot of Bigfoot tattoos last year. So, so come on out there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and we got a week long Bigfoot camping expedition that's taking place right after that. So if you want to be a part of that, join a Bigfoot camping expedition. Always a great time, great fellowship. There's no charge for the camping. Come on out to the conference, and you can find our information on Facebook at the our official event page. So take advantage of this time. Come on out, and meet other fellow squatchers, boots on the ground researchers, and it's going to be a great time. June 29th, Waynesboro, Virginia. It's right off the interstate, and the Best Western Conference Center is right next to Cracker Barrel. You cannot miss it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead, feel free to subscribe. And find me on Facebook. I am Daniel Benoit, founder of the ECBRO, the East Coast Bigfoot Researchers Organization. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, see you next Friday night. And don't forget, Squatch Zone Radio will be returning very soon. So I'll make a public announcement about that soon enough with details once that's up and running. So keep it squatchy, guys, and we're out.
Peace.